Anti-coup protesters have been back on the streets across Myanmar, despite yesterday's bloodshed when security forces shot more than 100 people dead. In one town, forces reportedly opened fire on mourners at the funeral of a student who was amongst those killed. Leaders across the world have condemned the brutal crackdown, including the US Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, who said the people of Burma rejected the military's reign of terror. And a warning, there are distressing images in Jane Deeth's report.
He just went out to play. 13-year-old Sai Wan Yan was shot by the army yesterday in Yangon. One of at least 6 children and around 100 others killed by soldiers in one horrific day. His mother asks, "My son, are you leaving me behind?" It seems in the general's Myanmar, not even funerals are sacred. 20-year-old Tai Mang Mang was killed yesterday too. This video of the funeral can't be verified by Channel 4 News, but mourners told the Reuters news agency they were shot at by the army. Shots rang out in the streets today. People who want democratic, not brutal military rule came out again, although in smaller numbers after yesterday's bloodshed. Some who stayed indoors filmed what they saw. A man dragged away. Soldiers walking around with missile launchers on their shoulders. Photos showed families hiding from sight, on the floor and under tables. Wearing helmets saying "Save Myanmar," protesters readied themselves with homemade slings and arrows. Today, defence ministers from a dozen countries, including Britain, condemned Myanmar's generals for killing civilians, reminding them a professional army ought to protect people, not harm them. Such calls are falling on deaf ears, and the United Nations won't be able to make the generals listen so long as permanent Security Council members China and Russia remain on the junta's side. Amnesty International has said the cost of inaction is being counted in the dead and injured. Last night, after the deadliest protests since the coup, the generals celebrated Armed Forces Day. While they partied, their jets carried out airstrikes in eastern Myanmar, according to an ethnic armed group there. Today, local media said around 3,000 people had decided not to wait for a repeat and crossed over the border into Thailand.